Billie Eilish is one of the biggest up-and-coming stars in the industry, and she's garnered a pretty big fan base as a result. Many of her fans adore her for her talent, but also for her authenticity. She's not pretentious, and she really seems to love her fans genuinely. The best example of this is when she surprises her fans. You can tell that though yes she has fans, she blends in with them as if they were her friends. Take this moment when Billie surprised a couple of fans after a concert. It's really cute to see Billie's fans freaking out over the singer while she's completely calm and actually lays down on them like they're close friends. Billie has to be one of the most genuine celebrities who actually cares about her fans and likes meeting them. It sucks that we probably won't be able to see these kinds of moments for a while because COVID, but when we do, it'll be as heartwarming as ever.
So since this is probably the only video I'll ever be able to include this, I actually was incredibly close to meeting Billie Eilish like a few summers ago, because basically my friend got me tickets to her show, and it was like a GA show. Like, she shouldn't have been in that venue, like a really low-key venue. So when you go backstage to like the VIP, like you're literally backstage. So anyway, we were literally backstage and we saw her like with her crew, like with the what's that called, the one that goes on before, like the
opening act?
Yeah, we were back with the opening act and all that, and literally Billie walked, like, I'm not even joking you guys, probably like 5 feet in front of our faces, like walked out of her dressing room or whatever, just like onto the stage.
Whoa.
Crazy. There's no security. Like, I literally could have been like, hi. Obviously I wasn't gonna do that, but anyway, I just needed to plug, I needed you guys to know, and this was the only time I could have included that.
Super cool. That is so cool.
No, it's really a strange story.
You're out here meeting all the celebrities, honestly.
It's what I do. And at number 9, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is one of the most beloved singers of all time, and her Swiftie fan base is one of the strongest in the world. And Taylor makes sure to do whatever she can to meet her adoring fans. One instance of this is her tea party events at concerts, and that's where you can meet Taylor Swift for free. All you have to do is stand out enough at the concert and you'll get a golden ticket to go backstage and meet her. But the time we're going to be talking about here is when Taylor surprised her fans in Chicago, who were asked to come to a studio and talk about why they were a huge fan of Taylor's. One person said that she helped them with their sexuality. Another said she had helped them through other rough patches. And another urged her to remember that her adoring fans will always have her back, no matter who tries to come for her. I think that was a dig at Kanye there. And as the fans were speaking to the camera, Taylor crept up behind them. And when the fans realized Taylor was behind them, they obviously lost it, and there was probably 10 straight minutes of hugging.
At number 8, Beyonce. I honestly don't know anyone who's not a fan of Beyonce. Like, how can you not be? She exudes elegance and badassery. Because there are some serious Beyonce fans out there, it's fun to watch them be surprised by her making an appearance. One of my personal favorite moments to watch are when Beyonce walks into a group of people dancing or performing to one of her songs, and it's even better when she joins in. I love this moment specifically because you can watch the dancers start going harder as soon as Beyonce steps in. Like, their effort goes up like 150% at least. Also, the fact that they just kept dancing and didn't like scream and freak out is kind of wild, right? Like, normally in these kinds of scenarios when celebrities surprise a fan, they're like screaming and jumping up and down and freaking out, but these guys were so chill. I'm sure their hearts were racing as soon as Beyonce stepped into the room. You guys better dance harder or she'll send the Illuminati after you.
And at number 7, Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner became a temporary member of the vlog squad when she surprised David Dobrik's fans in one of his vlogs. Basically, David picked Kylie and her best friend Stassi up at her house, and while Kylie hid in the back of the car, David had people come into the passenger seat and ask them what they thought of Kylie or the Kardashian family. David asked one person who their favorite Kardashian was, and when they said Khloe, David asked why it wasn't Kylie. Then she came out and surprised the guy, which obviously made the fan quickly change his answer to Kylie. And I can't even imagine what it would be like to first be picked up by David Dobrik. Like, that's just already such an event, and then have him surprise you with Kylie Jenner. Like, that would just be like the best day of my life. That's just really truly like a whole other level of surprise.
At number 6, Chris Evans. I love watching Avengers actors surprise their fans. These people have built up such an amazing fan base through their franchise, and they've impacted so many people. One of my favorite moments of an Avengers actor surprising their fans has to be from when Chris Evans was part of a staged escape room prank, and he jumped out and scared them at the end. Throughout the whole escape room process, Chris was guiding them through a speaker system and interacting with them at first until they came to the end and actually met the actor. The best part about this whole thing though is the fact that Chris jumped out at them in the dark. Like, that would have scared the crap out of me. Are you kidding? The lights suddenly go out and then someone grabs you in the darkness? Low-key, Chris should have been afraid of getting punched by someone by accident. But what I wouldn't give to be part of this prank, oh my goodness. I would have paid $1,000 to meet him, but if it was Tom Holland, I'd give a kidney.
Halfway through at number 5, Christina Aguilera. This one is probably the most creative of this list, and it involves Christina Aguilera. It starts when a couple walks into a Hollywood donut shop, and while they're debating what donuts they're gonna buy, Christina starts singing live over the mic, describing what they're doing. She starts off the song, "There's a pretty couple buying some donuts, can't decide which one to get." And then the couple starts to listen to the words and seems to know that someone is definitely singing about them. Then Christina sings, "It's Christina Aguilera singing about you." Then the couple starts obviously freaking out as they realize Christina is looking at them right now and singing about them. She then tells them to hop on one foot, and they do, while searching for whatever camera she's watching them on. Then after all of the suspense, she finally goes out to surprise them. They are of course completely shocked. And I'm sure also honored that ex-Tina would use her beautiful voice to sing about them. I know I would be.
At number 4, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber has to be one of the celebrities who surprised their fans the most. He's been part of countless Ellen Show surprises and even some from Fallon. But there's one fan surprise moment that stands out the most to me, and it comes from a bit with YouTube's very own David Dobrik. David organized a bit where he hid Justin in his Tesla because, of course, and he popped out to surprise fans, much like the Kylie Jenner prank. It's a super funny bit, and my favorite part from this whole thing has to be this. The energy in this video is just too much. When this guy is talking about how he didn't like Justin's latest song while Justin is in the car, it was just so cringe, but in a good way. It's so funny to watch the shock on his face when Justin pops out like, "Oh my god, I was literally just talking shit." It's just too funny. And Justin being super funny and playful with his fans is so fun to see. It's very different from back in his more angsty days, that's for sure.
And at number 3, Will Smith. So this one is starring Will Smith, and he uses the Target security cameras to surprise people. If you've been in a Target or a Walmart recently, then you'll know that they've installed security cameras at each self-checkout to watch you through the transaction and to make sure you know you're being watched. They even put a screen right above the self-checkout and you can see yourself checking out. But for the people that Will surprised, instead of seeing themselves in the security camera, they were surprised with Will Smith inside of their security camera. It took everyone a second to realize what was happening, but once they did, the Target customers were obviously freaking out. And now that Will Smith is making content on his own YouTube channel, he's done tons of videos surprising his fans. In another one, he showed up as the driver for Lyft rides, and fans were even more shocked in this one.
At number 2, John Cena. John Cena's energy is so positive and infectious, so it's no wonder why he's got so many people who look up to him and are fans of his. My favorite thing to see from him is when he surprises his fans because he genuinely looks happy to see them, and the fans always have the best reactions too. One of the best surprises I can think of has to be when John surprised a fan by ripping through a wall to scare them. The fact that this guy literally busts through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man and the kid just fell to the floor in shock, it's one of the best and funniest reactions I've ever seen. And the signature John Cena music playing in the background really just ties the whole moment together with its chaos and hilarity. This little fan was so shocked and excited to see John. It was so cute to watch, but the kid looked like he was literally about to have a heart attack.
I saw that video, and the way that John came through, honestly, I would have a heart attack too. It was crazy. It was borderline scary, I'm not even gonna lie. And finally, number 1, Miley Cyrus. In this one, Miley surprised tons of The Voice fans with the help of Jimmy Fallon. While she was a guest on Jimmy Fallon's show, promoting the fact that she was gonna be The Voice's newest judge, her and Jimmy decided to go to a spot where fans take pictures with The Voice chair and photobomb them before revealing that they were there to surprise them. Some of the fans were shocked, others confused, and others basically in tears over how happy they were to see Miley and Jimmy. And I was seriously the biggest Hannah Montana fan back in the day, honestly obsessed with her. So if Miley surprised me like that, I actually think that I would have fainted. That would have been the moment in life, this can't be real, and head would have hit the floor.
Starting off our list at number 10 is Johnny Depp. Many kids love the actor for playing the hilarious Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, so the actor used his character to spread some joy back in 2017. Dressed up as the Cap, he paid a visit to the Children's Hospital in Vancouver, Canada, where he spent 5 hours visiting with the young patients and their families. He wore his full costume and remained in character the entire visit. The 54-year-old actor at the time spent his day posing for pictures and entertaining the kids and their loved ones. He even brought foam swords and had sword fights with them. BC Children's Hospital Foundation shared some of the photos to their Facebook page, saying, "Patients were delighted by a visit today with one of the world's most famous pirates, Captain Jack Sparrow. Actor Johnny Depp showed he has a heart of gold by spending more than 5 hours meeting one-on-one with every patient, from newborns to teens." This wasn't his first hospital visit either. He has gone to a variety of hospitals dressed up as Jack throughout the years. Talk about having a heart of gold. At number 9 is Sandra Bullock. The actress plays a skilled thief in Ocean's 8, but in real life she is more than willing to give money away. She has donated millions of dollars to a variety of different charities throughout her career. But one random act of kindness that stands out is when she donated money to Sven Peterson so that he could pay rent for an apartment. Sandra found out that the 86-year-old former pool manager at the Beverly Hills Hotel became homeless and was going 3 to 4 days at a time without food. He was actually living out of his car and created a GoFundMe page to try and raise money for an apartment. The loving actress went to the fundraiser page and donated the remaining $5,000 in his name and wrote, "Everything is going to be okay." According to the updated page, he has since been able to find a new home and his donations were enough to pay his rent for a year. Next up at number 8 is Tom Hanks. He has played a number of different characters in his movies, but for one day he decided to be a Girl Scout to help some young girls sell their Girl Scout cookies. 3 girls from California were out selling their Girl Scout cookies when the actor happened to just casually walk by them. They said they didn't recognize him at first because he was wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses, but his smile made them realize who he was. He ended up buying 4 boxes of cookies for himself and donated an extra $20 on top of that, and also stuck around to help the girls sell the rest of their boxes. One Girl Scout's mom said that Tom was more than happy to help. People who passed by asked Tom for a picture and he told them, I quote, "Only if you buy cookies from these young ladies." Turns out they were able to sell all of their cookies. What a treat. Swiping the number 7 spot is Nicki Minaj. The award winner was on Twitter back in 2017 when she started telling fans she would pay off their school tuition if they got good grades. It started with Nicki tweeting out that she would pay her international airfare contest winners to go to Las Vegas and spend time with her at the Billboard Music Awards. That is when a fan from the US responded to her saying, "Well, you want to pay for my tuition?" What was probably supposed to be a little bit of a jab at the rapper actually turned out to be a complete blessing, because Nicki replied to that fan saying, "Show me straight A's that I can verify with your school and I'll pay it. Who wants to join that contest? Dead serious. Should I set it up?" She wasn't joking around either. She actually started paying off student loans that night for her struggling fans. People started tweeting her pictures of their transcripts and what money they need, and she spent all night responding to them and asking them to DM her their bank info. After that night, she ended up creating a charity called the Student of the Game. She lets her fans enter through the hashtag Student of the Game, where she pays off tuition, student loans, books, and basically any other school expenses. Nicki speaks on it, saying that she is moved by her fans' desire to stay in school and that she is proud, which is why she started doing this in the first place. Yo Nicki, pay off my school debt, please. Here we are at number 6 with Colin Farrell. The actor played the hero in some of his Hollywood films, but back in 2007 people started to call him a real-life hero. After appearing at the Toronto International Film Festival, the actor ran into a homeless man outside of a restaurant and sat down to chat with him, asking him for a cigarette. He ended up taking the man on a $2,100 shopping spree, walking into a store called Europe Bound with his arm around the man, telling the store employees that he is his friend. He bought the homeless man waterproof jackets, a sleeping bag, backpack, pants, boots, and socks, basically anything that he needed. The manager of the store told CTV that Colin kept saying, "Get him what he wants, get him the best." If that wasn't nice enough, he then went to an ATM and gave the homeless man, who goes by the nickname Stress on the streets, money to pay his rent for an entire year. Since then, the two of them actually stay in touch, and Stress has been able to turn his life around, now going by the nickname Relaxation. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Miley Cyrus. She's found herself in the middle of controversy on many occasions, but there is one thing people can't take from her, and that is her kind heart. At the VMAs back in 2014, Miley won the award for Video of the Year for her song Wrecking Ball. It was the biggest award of the night, and when she was called up to give her speech, she directed a young man with long blonde hair to the stage, leaving everyone very confused. Miley sat back in the crowd as the man introduced himself as Jesse, saying that he is one of the 1.6 million runaways and homeless youth in the US. He gave a powerful speech which had Miley and the majority of the room in tears. The speech was a call to action to go visit Miley's Facebook page, where she started a campaign to bring awareness to youth homelessness, where people could donate to the cause. Since then, she has created the Happy Hippie Foundation, which is a non-profit organization focusing on homelessness and the LGBTQ community. Next up at number 4 is Kim Kardashian. The beauty guru has made headlines for helping release 17 people from prison in just 3 months. It all started back in February of this year, 2019, when she got involved with a woman named Alice Johnson by seeing a video of her story on Twitter. Alice is a woman in her 60s who was serving a life sentence for a first-time offense. Kim K used her platform and went to the White House to talk to President Trump about criminal justice reform. She ended up walking away with what she fought for, which was the funding and approval of the 90 Days of Freedom campaign in response to him signing the First Step Act. This allows some people who are in prison on federal offenses to seek sentence reductions. She used her platform to shed light on this issue and was actually able to free Alice Johnson from behind bars. Since then, she has helped free 17 federal prisoners as of May 2019. Kim recently admitted that she's studying 18 hours a week to study for the bar exam, which she is planning to take. She said she would love to become a lawyer as early as 2022. What a world that would be! Kim Kardashian as a lawyer and Donald Trump as president. Alright guys, at number 3 is Taylor Swift. She has a long list of acts of kindness, but I'm going to pick my top 3 for the sake of this video. In July 2015, a video was spread on social media of a young girl named Naomi Oakes who was a huge T-Swift fan, recently diagnosed with leukemia. She was so sick that she was unable to go to Taylor's concert because she was hospitalized for 6 to 9 months undergoing severe treatments. Taylor found the GoFundMe page that Naomi's uncle had created to help medical costs and donated $50,000 to it, along with a really personal and sweet message for Naomi. A reaction video was later posted on the young girl seeing Taylor's message and donation.
Who's your favorite singer?
Taylor Swift.
Yay.
Of course.
We had Taylor Swift blasted through the house.
She was singing on the way to the hospital, Bad Blood.
It's almost impossible not to cry when you see it. Tears of joy, of course. Later, in September 2016, Taylor learned that one of her fans named Katie Carter was killed in a car accident in Alabama. Katie's older sister Kimmy set up a GoFundMe page to help raise money for her sister's funeral. Taylor ended up going to the page and left the family a kind message with a $5,000 donation to help with the funeral costs. And guess what? The girl keeps on giving. Just a month earlier, Taylor donated $1 million to the Louisiana flood relief after the rain killed 11 people and had 20,000 residents forced out of their homes. Taylor made a statement saying she is heartbroken and encourages everyone else to help in any way that they can. In spot number 2 is J.K. Rowling, the world's most famous children's author who wrote the magical Harry Potter book series. Back in 2000, the author learned that a fan named Katie Hodge from New York was diagnosed with cancer, which began to spread quickly from her kidneys to her liver, lungs, and spine. The two of them got in contact and spent months emailing back and forth. Rowling actually sent her books with personalized messages in them and other gifts. Katie's mother would read Harry Potter books to her while she was in the hospital, and she said she dreaded reading the ending of the 3rd book since she knew her daughter would not be alive for the 4th. She emailed Rowling asking when the 4th book would be out, telling her Katie's health wouldn't keep her alive much longer. The kind-hearted author called the little girl, who only had 3 days left to live, and read her the extracts from the 4th book, which had not even been published yet. She was the first person in the entire world to know the latest adventures of the Harry Potter series. She ended up passing away on May 18th at the young age of 9. After that, Rowling ended up mailing a letter to the family with a check for $100,000 after learning that they had started a memorial fund in Katie's name. Taking the number 1 spot on our list is Jamie Foxx. His act of kindness actually saved someone's life, which had people calling him a real-life action hero. Back in January of 2016, he pulled a man from a burning car outside of his home in Hidden Valley, California. The truck apparently went off the road, rolled into a ditch, and caught fire, with the driver trapped inside. Fox called 911 immediately, but then went above and beyond to run outside and do whatever he could. 2 other witnesses tried to help and were there in an attempt to free the driver. They were able to break the window, cut the seatbelt, and Fox grabbed the driver and pulled him out of the window to safety from a burning car. One of the witnesses says he dragged the driver 30 feet away from the car in fear of it exploding. The driver was a 32-year-old man named Brett Kyle, who ended up breaking his collarbone, which punctured one of his lungs, but his brother came forward saying that he would be much worse if Fox didn't come along.
In at number 10, Kylie Jenner. In August of 2017, Kylie joined Albert Ochoa, a junior at Rio Americano High School in Sacramento, California, for his prom. Kylie, who actually never had a chance to go to prom because she was homeschooled, found out about Albert's prom fiasco through social media. Initially, he asked his sister's friend to attend the event with him, but she ended up saying no. Sure enough, Kylie showed up with her camera crew and filmed the whole event on her show called Life of Kylie. When they arrived at prom, her attendance most certainly did not go unnoticed though. When you see the videos of people that were there, it looks like a zoo. After prom, prom, Albert said that everyone wanted to be his friend and never in his wildest imagination did he expect to get that much attention in one night. Welcome to being a Kardashian. In at number 9, Rihanna. Back in the day, MTV had this show called Once Upon a Prom. In that show, they paired up teens preparing for the most important night of their high school career, and as they deal with their nerves, MTV just sends in the perfect date. One lucky high school kid named Richard was the only one in his group of friends that didn't really have a prom date yet, so MTV sent in Rihanna. Funny enough, this was also Rihanna's first time going to prom as well, which perhaps balanced out the nervousness that Richard must have been feeling. The year was 2007 and Rihanna was just starting to blow up, so when she surprised Richard, he was awestruck. Or is it starstruck? Maybe both. The pair spent the night dancing and mingling with Richard's friends, plus they made sure to get that super awkward prom photo that is always a staple to remember that night. In at number 8, Shaun White. A Pennsylvania teen had her dreams fulfilled in a big way when Olympic snowboarder Shaun White surprised her by showing up at her prom following a video invitation that she had sent out to her dream date. A student named Carly Monzo made a video where she enlisted the help of her fellow students and teachers to ask Shaun White to prom. After uploading the video to Vimeo, she had all of her friends tweet at Shaun, but when she got no response, all seemed lost. Probably because she uploaded it to Vimeo. Although on the night of prom at the White Marsh Valley Country Club, the announcer called out her name, and as she turned, they dropped the curtain revealing Shaun White and his bandmates. The band then played 3 songs, and Carly got to enjoy the night with her dream prom date. Following prom, Carly tweeted this photo and said that it was the happiest moment of her life. How sweet. In at number 7, Demi Lovato. This really goes to show you just how down-to-earth Demi Lovato is, and not only that, but how much she values a promise. You see, in kindergarten, she made a promise to her childhood friend Nolan that she would be his date to prom, and she actually came through on the promise, even though she was crazy famous at this point. Demi tweeted a photo of them captioning it with, "A promise made in kindergarten finally coming true, prom with @NolanNard." Demi showed up in a strapless red dress, and Nolan gave her a corsage, and off they went in a sparkling Rolls-Royce. Paid for by Demi, of course. In at number 6, Justin Timberlake. When a Marine needed a prom date to the Instructor Battalion Marine Corps ball, she made a video and posted it to YouTube asking if Justin Timberlake would accompany her. Sure enough, Justin Timberlake showed up in a nice suit in November of 2011 and went as combat instructor Kelsey DeSantis' date. Following the Marine Corps ball, Kelsey told Good Morning America that the singer was a complete gentleman the whole evening. But did you see all of those dudes standing around her when she made that video? I mean, it looked like she was asking someone to prom while her big brothers judged the potential date. It's no wonder that he acted like a gentleman. I mean, he was surrounded by America's finest, and his date was their instructor. So yeah, you better act right. I'm sure he's a nice guy. In at number 5, Mila Kunis. Much like how Justin Timberlake attended a Marine Corps ball, Mila Kunis received a Marine Corps ball invitation herself via YouTube as well. Her date was a man named Sergeant Scott Moore, who took the actress to the celebrations in Greenville, North Carolina. After the party, he told People magazine that Mila was very nice and very respectful. Plus, she got tons of credit and a lot of respect for actually following through with it. Even though she isn't part of their world, staying true to your word is an important value to the Marines, and Mila definitely delivered. It is pretty cool though to see celebrities like Justin and Mila Kunis setting aside their celebrity status to honor the people that fight for their freedom. In at number 4, Vanessa Hudgens. In August of 2014, the High School Musical star surprised 17-year-old Cesar Guerrero, who was battling cancer. The party was thrown at Silmar High School in LA and the Art of Elysium, which Vanessa had actually worked with in previous years. Sure enough, she popped up at his prom and accompanied him that night as his date. Following the event, Cesar posted a photo of them on his Instagram and captioned the photo with, "Vanessa Hudgens, thank you so much for coming to my special prom. It was really nice getting to know you and to dance with you. It really meant a lot to me that you took your time off and come to my prom. I love you so much, and to all my friends, to make you jealous, here's a picture with my baby V." In at number 3, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift already had platinum record sales, multiple CMT awards, and a Grammy nomination at the time. The 18-year-old Taylor Swift had already crossed off some very impressive milestones in her life and career, but she still had never gone to her senior prom. So on a Saturday night, she went to a prom at Hillcrest High School in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and later she told People magazine that it was literally one of the best nights of her life. The celebrity prom matchup was another episode that was filmed for that MTV show called Once Upon a Prom. Taylor Swift attended on the arm of senior Whit Wright, whom she chose from, an applicant list of 50 people. It's a lot of prom date requests. Taylor had missed out on her own prom after she had to switch to being homeschooled while she was on tour, so this was not only a big deal for Wright, but Taylor as well. In at number 2, Kobe Bryant. I know it may be super difficult to believe, but at one point in time when Kobe was 17 years old, he was just a regular high school student in search of a prom date. Now, don't get me wrong, Kobe was a rising star athlete, and while attending the Essence Awards earlier that year, he got to meet a 17-year-old platinum-selling, Grammy-winning artist named Brandy. Kobe was a big fan of Brandy's and ended up asking her to a senior prom. Brandy showed up in her dress, Kobe gave her a corsage, which she still actually has to this day, and following the event, she said that it just made her finally feel like a normal 17-year-old. When asked about this night by TMZ many moons later, Brandy said it was so much fun, although it was cameras and media there, it still felt normal to be in a school with kids my age. I really needed to experience that, and I wouldn't if Kobe never asked me. Last but certainly not least, on our number 1 spot, Tupac Shakur. In 1996, high school student Kia Chanel had no idea that when she wrote into Tupac's fan club asking him to be her date to the prom, that he'd actually show up and show out. But it was in Tupac's nature to show major love to his fans. As a result, Kia's wish was his command. Kia recalled that night saying that about a month after she sent the letter, there was a knock at her door and it was him. He was by himself, no reporters, no friends, just Tupac Shakur at her doorstep. Plus, he then just gave her a whopping $1,500 for her prom outfit and fulfilled his promise to be her date on prom night. A limo showed up, Tupac picked up his date, and then they went straight to prom. According to Kia, everyone was going crazy and taking pictures, but the pair still hung out for about 30 minutes and danced for about 5 songs, and then he just said that he had business to take care of, kissed her on the cheek, and left. I mean, what a class act.